Hi there everyone, my name's Lainey and welcome to Bread and Butter blog on YouTube. Today I want to show you how to make my vanilla bean scones strawberry shortcake style. My goal in creating this recipe was to create a scone that is crisp on the outside but buttery and soft and not dry by any means on the inside. I think this scone is wonderful by itself or with a cup of coffee, but also the strawberries and cream complement it so well. You can find the written recipe below in the description or at breadandbetter.blog under the post section. For this recipe, you'll need flour, eggs, butter, baking powder and sea salt, cream, brown sugar, vanilla bean paste, turbinado sugar, and then if you want to do the strawberry shortcake version, which you don't have to, you'll want strawberries, heavy whipping cream, granulated sugar, and confectioner's sugar. If you want to do the strawberry shortcake version, the first thing you're going to want to do is cut all of your strawberries up. I like to cut the stems off and then cut them into fourths after that. And the reason this is the first thing you want to do is because these will need to sit in the fridge for at least 30 minutes before you use them, because the sugar needs time to break down the fruit, which will make this syrupy mixture that will be just perfect for topping our scones with. I don't really measure my sugar, to be honest. You can use sugar or honey, whichever you have on hand. I chose sugar, but I guess I usually follow about 4 to 8 tablespoons of sugar per 2 cups of strawberries. And I just mix that up, and that is really all you have to do. But I decided I also wanted to add a little bit of lemon just for flavor and to help break down the fruit even more with the acid from the lemon. And that is all I'm going to do with this, and just put it in the fridge and let it sit until I'm ready to use it. Now that we're done with our strawberries, let's start making our scones. You're going to want to begin by adding all of your dry ingredients to the bowl of a stand mixer. So this is going to be your flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. As you can see, I'm measuring in grams, which is my preferred way to measure my ingredients, just because it's more precise and has a more consistent outcome. But I also have the imperial measurements that you can use in the written recipe. Whisk that together really quick, and then just go ahead and put that on to your stand mixer with the paddle attachment. Now let's measure out our liquid ingredients. So you're going to want your cream, vanilla paste, vanilla extract, whichever one you're choosing, and eggs. Go ahead and crack both of your eggs into a medium or small sized bowl, and then add your vanilla paste and whipping cream. Give that a quick whisk and then set it aside. I like to keep my bowl in the fridge until I'm ready to use it, just to ensure all the ingredients are cold and not getting to room temperature. I find using cold ingredients for the scones is really beneficial because it gives them a better rise and a better texture. Now is time to add the butter. It's really key that the butter is added when it is cold, because it's going to help give your scones their rise and give your scones a tender, flaky crumb. I like to use my bench scraper to cut the butter into about tablespoon sized portions, but you can also use a knife. Turn your mixer onto low speed, and we're going to add our butter in all at one time. As it mixes, you'll notice it starts to get very crumbly. There might be a few pieces that are quite large when the rest is about the size of a chickpea or smaller, so just use your fingertips to mash that butter into a smaller size. Once the butter is all broken down, we can add our wet ingredients. It is key not to overmix the dough, so we're going to take the bowl off the stand mixer, drizzle in our liquid ingredients, and then grab a rubber spatula to fold it all together until no dry spots remain. The mixture will look crumbly, and that's okay. You just want to ensure there's no more dry patches of flour. So once it comes together for the most part, I kind of like to finish mixing with my hand just to ensure all the patches of flour are incorporated, and it will still look crumbly, and that is okay. It does not need to be one big mass yet. We're gonna let this chill in the fridge for 30 minutes, which I forgot to video me putting in the fridge, but just trust me. Put it in the fridge for 30 minutes, and in the meantime, preheat your oven to 375. Once your dough has chilled for 30 minutes, go ahead and sprinkle your work surface with a bit of flour and dump your dough onto the surface. I like to knead the dough 2 or 3 times, not a lot, just a little, to kind of bring it all together. You'll find that it's a bit crumbly, so kneading it a few times really just ensures that everything is stuck together and it's not going to just crumble apart when you cut it into individual scones. Once all the dough has come together and isn't crumbly, go ahead and flour your surface again, and we're going to just pat it out into a circle that is about an inch tall or thick. An inch thick, I guess, would be maybe the better word for that. And you just want to make sure that it really is covered with flour on the top and the bottom, not like excessively, but just enough to where it won't stick to the surface of the counter or to your bench scraper when you cut through. I like to score the top of the disc before cutting, so you'll see me divide it in half, and then into fourths, and then into sixths, and then into eighths. Doing this just helps ensure each scone will come out around the same size. Of course, it's never going to be exactly perfect, but as long as you're not having scones that one is like half the size of the other one, you'll be okay. After you score them, just go ahead and use your bench scraper or knife to cut straight down through the dough, and then line your baking sheet with your scones about an inch apart. Now that you have them on your baking sheet, we have 2 final steps before putting them in the oven. Grab a brush and some cream, and we're just gonna brush the tops of the scones with a little bit of cream. This really helps caramelize the surface of the scone and give it like a nice brown golden color, but then it also makes it nice and crisp, so you have more than just a soft, tender texture within the scone, you also have like that crunch on the outside. Something else I like to do just to add a little extra flavor and crunch is add turbinado sugar to the tops of the scones. You can really use any coarse sugar. I just have turbinado sugar on hand, and that's what I keep buying. After you're done sprinkling them with sugar, you can go ahead and put them in the oven on the middle rack, and we're going to bake them for 22 to 26 minutes, rotating halfway through. When they're done, they should have nice golden tops and be firm on the outside but still soft on the inside. Also have nice golden bottoms. If you find that the bottoms get way too done, try doubling up on sheet pans, stacking one on top of the other, and that can help prevent burning. At this point, you can keep the scones just the way they are, or you can make the strawberry shortcake variation. I'm filming this part the day after making the scones, So the strawberries have been sitting overnight and getting very just juicy and delicious. Now I'm going to make the whipped cream. I add a few cups of heavy cream to a medium bowl, and then I do powdered sugar and vanilla to taste, and I really don't measure any of this. But I do believe I have measurements in the recipe on my blog post, and then I will also try to have it written out below in the description. But you're going to use a hand mixer or your stand mixer with the whisk attachment to whip the whipped cream to soft peaks. Now that the whipped cream is done, you can go ahead and grab your scones and your strawberries, and it is time to assemble. I find that I like to take my scone and split it in half and then toast it before adding the whipped cream and strawberries. That's how I like to do it, but feel free to do this any way you want to, and it is up to your preference. I found that when splitting the scone in half, it's actually easier to take it off of the plate you have it on and put it on your counter, because it makes the knife more level, and so you're less likely to break the scone and have crumbles. Top the scone with as many strawberries and as much whipped cream as you wish, and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you learned something from it, and I hope that you will bake these super yummy scones and do the shortcake version if you so choose. It is truly so delicious. It's a perfect buttery, tender scone with a crisp surface, and the strawberries and whipped cream just complement it so well, especially when you have the juice from the strawberries. I hope that you'll go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.